Hello, everybody. We're sitting here live now with Chauncy Billups. This is a big week for him, dealing with his tournament, King of the Hill. It's actually named after one of his nicknames, I would say. And we get to ask him a few questions, talk about what's going on with him for the summer, what's taking place with this tournament that he has that's, a nice national tournament. That is the third annual King of the Hill tournament. We're also sitting here with Marty, Cesario. Chauncy, we'll get right into this. How are things going with you in this busy week with this tournament? What are some of your expectations?
Well, of course, it is a busy week, but this is a week that we look forward to every single year.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's our third annual, and we kick it off with the great three-point contest, dunk contest, just kind of a pep rally type of deal. And we have a great time, man.
Absolutely.
We have a great time, and my expectations are always the same. We want the kids to come out and have a good time, compete, have fun, and everybody, of course, is going to try to win.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, for yourself in this, with the dunk contest, you've seen many. You've been on the best level of the dunk contest with the NBA, but what do you look forward to the most with the kids and being able to see them compete in these style of contests?
Well, the last 2 years have been great. The dunk contest has been great, and it's all about creativity.
Absolutely.
Because obviously everybody that's in it can jump.
Right. Right.
And are worthy of winning, I'm sure. But it's all about creativity. Who can get the crowd going? Who can get people to run out of their seats?
Right.
I've never been that guy because I never really had hops like that. But
I beg to differ. I seen a little bit. You're modest about that, but that's understandable.
Yeah, but it's good, man. It'll be a fun time as usual.
Definitely.
When we think about opening night, since we're on that topic right now, there's guys jacking three-pointers. Some of them are only 4 feet tall. Yeah. You got the jumpers doing the dunks. A lot of local celebrities that are in the house. Mm-hmm. What are the expectations? What does opening night mean for an event like King of the Hill Classic?
Well, I think it's just a kickoff. It's just a snapshot of what is to come in the incoming days.
Okay.
So it'd be very exciting. It'd be very fun, and I think you leave that, and then starting out Friday morning, the tournament starts. And again, you'll see a lot of great talent, great players, good teams, and it's just become a very, very good weekend here.
Now, Chauncy had already mentioned it's the third year for the King of the Hill Classic. Already, we're privy to this is one of the premier summer events for the basketball community. With where it's at right now, are you satisfied with that? Are there other goals and expectations as you keep moving on year to year to year?
Well, it's in a good place at the moment, and I'm happy with where we're growing it to. But we want this thing to be big. We want it to be very big. We're going to try to grow it every single year, and keep continuing to invite a lot of out-of-state teams every year, good teams, because as far as AAU is concerned, this is kind of the first tournament before teams start to go away out of state and compete against all the talent nationally. So I think it's a great chance to come in and kind of work on work on what you will be forced to do, coming up after that in the big tournaments.
Like Vegas and so on.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Now, for yourself, being a basketball man, you've seen how things have changed from the social media to all of that, where now kids are getting exposure, earlier than you have. For yourself, scholarships are being offered, you could say to 8th graders, 7th graders. How do you want this event to help the Colorado basketball community?
Well, that's a good question, because Colorado basketball is, I wish it was a lot more exposure coming out of our city.
Absolutely.
We do have some talent. Sometimes our talent goes unseen.
Absolutely.
Because you don't have that vehicle to show them and get them to places where they can be seen and get that exposure. I think this tournament here, the way that we're going to try to grow it, if we can do what we feel like we're going to do, it's going to be a big-time national tournament. You have teams coming from everywhere. You have college coaches coming from everywhere. We'll make it into a live period tournament at some point, which means college coaches can come and recruit at that time.
Absolutely.
But as far as Colorado basketball, that's always been my biggest. I envision us, going and having, 10, 12, 11 high D1 players every single year.
Yes.
Every single year, and we're taking some steps in that direction.
Well, yeah, because even this year, the Kansas tournament that just went to maybe, we probably had about 4 or 5 teams out of Colorado that just took #1, and that's girls and boys. So that's good for Colorado to be able to be seen on those national tournaments. I know you had your 16U team actually win a few national tournaments, so that's good for your brand, your your organization, and everything else. With you saying, I'm a guy that wants to give exposure. You're a guy that's been able to travel and see different states, different organizations.
Sure.
If you can pick one right now that you say we want to try and mirror that and build to be like that, what would it be? Which tournament, which state really has that vehicle that really we can start to mimic? I would say.
Well, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, my 16s are going to a tournament in Chicago. That's a big deal. Of course, Vegas has a lot of big tournaments. They host a lot of tournaments over the summer. You know, I think there's some tournaments out there that we are probably comparable to at the moment, but we want to take it another notch.
Absolutely.
We want to keep taking it up and making it to a huge, huge deal. Indianapolis has a huge tournament, and actually it's kind of in the spring. It's a huge tournament. It's a very, very good tournament, and those are the kind of things that we're shooting for.
Absolutely, totally agree.
Any particular players? We talk about exposure, and it's good to get it for the organizations, but you know, in the end, you're also trying to help young men and women, right? To move on to do some awesome things. Are there any players during this weekend that we should have on our radar that are just on the cusp of doing some great things in their young lives?
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough question to ask.
Okay.
Only because I'm going to pick everybody from my program.
Right. Like Bassett.
You can be biased. This is all about King of the Hill, right?
But to be honest, we have the best players, you know.
Yeah.
And there are good players out there. There are other good players in other programs. Don't get me wrong. There's some very good programs and some teams around here that are very good.
Absolutely.
But we have the best players. You know, some of our older kids that are in the 17s group.
Right.
You know, the Malik. We got a few. I can go down the list.
Right.
I mean, Dallas is a very good player, but he's injured right now, unfortunately for our team. But Justin and Ladarius, I mean, we got so many guys, man. And then we keep going down, lower than that. You know, we get groups younger than that are very, very good players and very, very good teams that compete nationally. So this has become a very long show if you get me going.
Right. Well, you know what? You name those guys so quickly, and obviously you have some pride. You know, if you bring it back, Chauncy, we know your resume, and there's great opportunities with you. Why are you working and supporting youth-aged and high school-aged athletes? Why is this your thing?
Because I mean, in short, I think I want to give all these kids the opportunity to be me.
Absolutely.
In short, I want them all to have an opportunity. Now, will they all? No. They. I mean, I was lucky. I was blessed. I stayed healthy throughout the process. I was blessed with some talent that I didn't have to work for. The good Lord gave it to me, and I just kind of brought it out. And in short, I just want to give everybody an opportunity and a chance to live their dream.